Welcome to another CamDoes Data. We're looking at another SQL problem today. We're going to be looking at HackerRank. So if you come to HackerRank, come to Intermediate and Advanced Joins, click on this right here, Placements. Now I'll leave a link to this problem in the description. So if you want to come and solve it yourself, you can go ahead and do that. We will turn this to MySQL and let's take a look at the problem here. You are given three tables: students, friends, and packages. Students contains two columns, ID and name. Friends contains two columns, ID and friend ID. ID of the only best friend. Okay, so there's only going to be one friend ID for every ID pair. And packages contains two columns, ID and salary. And the salary is offered in thousands per month. So we have three tables, basically. This is kind of what they look like. Name, ID, and then the friend ID. So their best friend is this one, their best friend is this one, their best friend is this one, and their best friend is that one. And their salaries. And then we want to get an output. All we're looking for is one name. It looks like I skipped over it right here. So write a query to output the names of those students whose best friends got offered a higher salary than them. Names must be ordered by the salary amount offered to the best friends. It's guaranteed that no two students got the same salary offer. So whatever we do in our query, we want to order it by the salary, the friend salary. So let's just start there. Let's grab the friend salary. So here, I'll zoom in just so you can see what we're typing. We're going to select the friend ID. Let's see, we want the friend salary. So we want friend, we want ID. We want the name. Do we need the name? Let's just grab the name just for fun, and then we'll grab the salary. We'll grab this from, so to get the name, we're going to need the students table. We'll do students S. We'll zoom in here again so you can see. So ID, name, salary from students S. We need the SID and the S name. So salary is in the packages table. So we will join packages, and we'll join that as P. We'll call this P.salary. Now, technically, the name and the salary, name is only in the students table. Salary is only in the packages table. So technically, I don't need those. I could leave it like this. Just for clarity's sake, it makes a lot more clear later when you come back what's grabbed from what. It's just good practice and good habit to get into using these aliases, so it's more clear where the data, the information is coming from. So we're going to do on s.id equals p.id. So we're grabbing the student ID, the student name, their salary, and let's alias all these as friends ID, as friends name, and as friends salary. There you go. So now technically what this is grabbing is just students' IDs, their names, and their salary. It's not actually the friends yet. But we're going to use it to pull from to get the friends information. So we will say this is with friends salary. So this is how you create a CTE, if you weren't aware. What you do is with, and then you name the table. You could name this anything. You can name this B, you could name this table. You could name it CTE if you want. I like to name it exactly what I'm using it as. So again, later on when I come back, it's very clear why this is here. This is friend salary. There we go. And then, so we're going to want to create a second CTE. Now what you do is you create a comma, and now for the second CTE, you don't need the with clause again. You can just alias it. So we will say students salary as And then we can write our CTE within these two parentheses. When you create a CTE, you need the opening and closing parentheses. And then if you do a second CTE, you need the comma. And then we'll write it in here. So we'll select ID, name, and salary again. And then what we want to do is grab friend's ID, friend's name, and friend's salary. So we will grab our students one. We're kind of redoing what we had up here, but we will grab our student, call that S. We will join the friends table, call that F. We'll do that on. Let's see, let's name this s.id, s.name. The salary is going to come from the packages table. Friends ID is going to come from friend's salary. Let me join this. So actually, no, I want to join the friends table first. So join friend on s.id equals f.id. And the only reason we're using this is for the join with the friend salary table. This is not feeding any information into here. Let's do, here, I'll make this clear. I'll put friend salary. So I'm putting FS because I'm going to alias the friend salary table. I'll do that right now. Join friend salary as FS. So this is pulling from the students table. This is pulling from students table. This is pulling from the packages table, which I haven't added yet. This is pulling from the friend salary table. And this is pulling, these are pulling from the friend salary table. So what I'm doing is I'm joining the friend salary, and I want to join that on the friends ID from the friends table. That's why we joined the friends table here. So f.friends ID, I think it's just friend ID actually. It's friend ID. Here, I'll show you real quick. It is right here, friend ID. So on friend ID equals our friend's salary dot friend's ID. And then we need to also join the packages table just to get the salary information on SID equals p.id. So there you go. That should give us our student. And then in that same table, it will give us the comparison. Okay. And then let's just select everything from that to make sure it's working. This isn't going to be the correct answer yet, but I just want to make sure it is working. Student doesn't exist. We need students. Students. Okay, there we go. Now, so what we got here, let me show you over here. We got the student ID, the student salary. So student ID, student name, student salary, and then their friend's ID, their friend's name, and their friend's salary. So we want to compare these now, because remember, we want to, right here, write a query to output the names of the friends who got an offer, a higher salary offer than them. So we want to compare those, and I guess we could do it right here within that CTE if we want. We can say where friend salary so where p.salary is less than our friend's salary. Again, I probably don't have to alias either of these because they're unique, but just for clarity's sake, I'm gonna alias them. The salary over the friend's salary. Now, that should give me all the information that I don't need, but it'll show, if we go down here, that's only giving me this friend right here, that's their salary. Well, here's their best friend, and their salary they got offered is higher than theirs. And every single one of these included here, the friend's salary was offered higher than theirs. So, now we don't need every column. Remember, we only need the name. And then we have to order by the friend's salary. And we're going to do that as descending. So one thing that does get a little confusing. Let me zoom out here. So one thing that does get a little confusing on these sort of things, there you go, just so you can see everything. Sorry about that. Down here, now I'm just calling it friend salary, and I've seen some people get thrown for a loop because of these aliases that we're including up here. The alias is only just to tell SQL where to pull that from. Now again, you don't have to put it. When salary is only in one table, you don't have to put it. But this is not included in the name of the column. When the column is finally named by SQL, it's only going to be this after the period. Before the period is just telling it where to pull it from. And the only reason it says FS is because right here, when I joined friend salary, I renamed it as FS. Now you can put as here. It's just a shortcut in SQL. You don't have to put as there. And the reason we do this is because we don't want, we don't want to do this. Friend salary, friend salary, friend salary. It's easier to put the alias there, and then you're only using that little alias. So down here, we don't need any aliases. We're getting these raw ID, name, salary, friend ID, friend name, friend salary. So we're selecting the student name. That's going to be the student name from student salary. And in this CTE, the student salary CTE, we already found, remember, where the student salary was less than what their friend got. So down here, all we're doing is grabbing just that name, and now we're ordering by the friend salary descending, which is exactly what they wanted. Over here, write a query to output the names, and then order by the salary amount offered to the best friends. That's exactly what they wanted. That's exactly what we gave them. Now let's make sure that's what we actually gave them. Let's see, what did we miss over here? Friend ID, packages, SID. Order by friend salary, we got the name. Should be correct. Let's go back through here. We'll run through it. We got the student ID. So this is giving us our friends' names. We're getting the friend's salary. Let me show you here so you can look. We're getting the ID. We're getting the friend's ID. We're getting the friend's salary. Packages. And then we're doing this. We're getting the student ID, name, salary. The friend ID, name, and salary. Join friends. And then join friend salary. Join the packages. And then where. Name. Order by friend salary. Hold on. Let's look here. Did they want a descending? Name must be ordered by the salary amount offered to the best friends. Maybe they didn't actually want it descending. Maybe they just wanted it ordered by the friend's salary. Yep, okay. So I assumed they wanted it ordered in descending order, like from the highest salary to the lowest. I guess not. So that's the, little bit of troubleshooting. I'll leave that in the video, I guess. Now, I want to show you another way. This, just to me, I guess, as you get more familiar with CTEs like I am, I love using them. I love separating out my logic with CTEs. Now, technically, you don't have to do all of this through CTEs. You can do all of this through, let me show you here. So let's get rid of this. That gave us the correct answer. I'm not even sure if you could have seen that where we were at. Sorry. So that's the correct answer down here. Sorry, I was trying to show. I wanted to make sure we were zoomed in on the code, and I didn't show you down here. This is the correct answer. Let me show you a different way that we can do this. We could select. Now we just need the name. Oop, don't need a comma there. From students. We'll alias that. Now join the friends column. And we want to join, we'll alias that on s.id equals friend.id. And then we want to join packages p on s.id equals p.id. So this gives us the student name, the friends, and the packages. But all we've gotten from the friends table is just their ID. So what we could do is now join friends again. But now we could call it, let's call it friend salaries. We'll just use the same alias I used before, friend salary on. And then we want from the friends table dot friend ID equals friend salary dot ID. Hold on, I don't want this. Friends, there we go. So we're joining students again, and we're calling this friend salary, and now we're taking that friend ID from the friends table and we're making that equal to this ID. So this is now giving us the friends ID. Now to get the friends salary, we need to join packages again. But now let's call it, let's see, instead of friend salary, maybe we call this friend ID. I don't know. I'm trying to make it as clear as possible. We could write it out. Make it as clear as possible for you. So students is S, friends is F. So this is the same query that we started from before in the last one, basically. We're getting the name of the student. We're getting their friend. We're just joining the friends table on those two IDs matching. We're not really doing anything with the friends table yet. We're joining packages and we're getting, matching the IDs. So this, even though it's not populated in the columns, this has given us their salary. So then we're rejoining students again. And I only called this friend ID. Let's just call this S2. And I hope it makes sense. I'm just trying to make the aliases easy to understand. So students, we're joining it again, but this time we're taking the friend ID and making that equal to this. So now this S2 is going to be like the friends table. And so now we need to, from that friends table, we need to pull from packages again, if I spelled it correctly. And let's call this P2. And now what I'm doing is I want to do the same thing. I'm going to grab the friend ID and match that up to the second salary. So these two joins right here are basically grabbing the friend IDs and then getting us a second table with the friend ID and the friend salary. So by doing those 4 joins, we've gotten the same information we did with all those CTEs. And then so we want to again compare. So we want the friend salary, which is from P2. So P2.salary is greater than P1.salary. So P2, remember, is the friends. This is the friend salary. So we want where the friend salary is greater than the student salary, which is just from P. Oh, I just put P instead of P1. Probably should have put S1, but FSP, whatever. As long as it makes sense. This is a little harder to understand. Like if somebody just came up, that's why I like using CTEs. You can kind of separate out the logic. Makes it, when you come back to it, a lot easier to understand. This, yes, it's much more concise and it's much more compact. And I want to order by friend salary and not descending. We want ascending. So yeah, this is a lot more compact and you're not writing as much, but this is so much harder to understand when you come back to look through this and try and figure out what the heck is going on, what you're pulling from what. That's kind of why I like using CTEs and separating out the logic. So let's double check that this is even correct here. I have to call this s.name because the name is going to be in both student names. And we only want the actual student's name, not their friend's name. So there we go. If we run that, There you go. So that's the exact same query as the other, one that we did before, which let's just go back here and show you. So yeah, those two are identical. This one right here and this one. Just separate them here. So you could write all of this. You could write all of this, or you could write just this. But I'd argue that even though this is shorter, I'd argue that's much harder to understand than if you just did this much longer one and separating everything out, and you're naming things. So this is friend ID, friend's name, friend's salary, just so you can follow what's going on. You're going to thank yourself when you come back to it later, and it's much easier to understand what the heck you were doing. So that's that for that question. Again, I will leave the link to the question in the comments if you want to go and try to solve it for yourself. Just remember to break down what you're doing and break down the logic, and don't be afraid of CTEs. I love them. I use them probably way too much. I just think it makes it a lot easier to understand and break down the logic, Other than that, go ahead and follow me here on YouTube. The link to my LinkedIn is in the description as well if you'd like to follow me on there. And I will see you next week for more Cam Does Data.